Hello, my name is Lorenzo Kwolek, and today I'm going to be talking about volleyball. So, the rules of volleyball go as this. You and your team play to a score of 25 in a best of 5 situation. So, first of 3 sets wins. As the court boundaries go, each side of the court is 30 by 30, and the dotted line in the middle on the image here represents the net, and the solid lines represent the boundaries, with the line closest to the net being the 10-foot line, just for other advanced volleyball procedures. Also, unlike other sports, the line on the court is represented as in, whereas in like basketball, if the ball is on the line, it is out and the other team's ball. But in volleyball, it's in, and it would be the point. You would get the point. There are also line judges, and these are noted on the court image with the white dots in the corner. There are 2 that stand on the corner of every volleyball match, and it's their job to watch and see if the ball is in or out, if somebody touched the ball before it went out, or if the ball hit the antenna, which is indicated by the red dots on the court image. If so, if the ball does hit the red dots, the antenna, then it is the other team's point. The line judges in the image you can see below, these are their standard directions that they point. If they point down, as in the first one, that means it is in. Pointing up represents that the ball was out. If he's holding his hand on top of it as like a T shape, that shows that somebody touched the ball before it went out. If they are waving their flag and pointing, that means if they are pointing up, it means it hit the antenna or it went outside the antenna, or they could be pointing at the line, which indicates that the server stepped on the line and is the other team's point. And with their hands crossed means that they were unable to make the call because poor line of sight and view. And finally, for the rules, there's 3 touches, and this is basic. You have 3 touches to get the ball over the net, and I'm going to go more into the touches and other fundamentals in this next slide. So the fundamentals. You have pass, setting, and hitting. So basically, every time the ball comes over, you want to get a pass, set, hit, and that's just how the game goes. As you can see with the image, passing leads to a set, which leads to a hit with the arrows in the top right corner. So, passing. Good passers, or passing is good passes to the setter, so they can run their offense and have a lot of hitting options to mess with the other team. Always keep them on their toes. Setting, there's usually one setter on the court, and they have to set the hitters so the hitters can get the ball and hopefully get the kills. Hitting the ball for your opportunity to win the point, and this is known as a kill if you do get the point. Then you also have a couple other fundamentals like serving, blocking, and digs. So serving is just as you would think. You would serve behind the end line, and there are typically 2 ways to serve. One with a float serve, which is usually you want to have the ball to have no movement or no movement on contact, and the ball has some funny physics and it moves in the air, which really messes with the passers. Or you want to have a good top spin, so you would toss the ball up with some spin, go jump up and hit it on your serve, and this would create a lot of top spin, causing the ball to drop and making for a hard ball to pass. Next, you have blocking. You can see in the bottom left image, these men are getting well over the net, and you are just jumping, trying to block the ball to stay on the other team's side of the net, and this will get your team a point. But you also want to stay out of the net, for you can't hit the net, or else it is an error on you. Also, there are digs, and digs go apart with passing. A dig is when you pass the ball that was just hit and keeping the ball alive, and you digging it results for your team to run another offense and try to get a kill. So those are great second chance efforts there. And finally, for fundamentals, I'll talk about positioning, which you can see in the bottom middle image. It's a lot of numbers and arrows. So I'm going to explain that real quick. So the number positioning in volleyball is, if you're facing the net, the back right corner is your 1 spot, and then the 2 spot is right above it, and you go counterclockwise until you get to the back center court, which is the 6th spot. But when you score the point and you rotate, you don't go 1 to 2, 2 to 3. You go 1 to 6, 6 to 5, 5 to 4. It's very weird for beginners to understand it, but that's how it goes. And also, whoever's in the 1 spot is the server for that point. So if you're playing the 2 spot and your team wins the point, you're going to rotate, and then you're going to be the 1 spot, leading for you to be the server. And if you miss the serve or you lose the point, you stay in the 1 spot until you get the next serve, or until your team gets the next point. Sorry. And also, with positioning, I just want to mention that there are positions for each area of the court. So the 4 spot, as you can see, is usually the outside hitter's role. The 3 spot is usually a middle hitter, and the 2 spot is usually a right side hitter. The setter on your team usually plays in the 1 spot, running up. They play defense, and then they run up and set the ball from around the net area, just so they have more options. And also in the 5 spot, you usually have a libero, and a libero is basically your best passer on your team, and they play back row for the other middle, because middles don't usually pass. So yeah, that was the fundamentals. And just to recap that last part, there are outside hitters, middle hitters, right side hitters, 1 setter, and a libero. And yes, that is my presentation on volleyball. I hope I cleared things up and didn't make it too hard to understand. But yes, thank you for listening, and have a great day.